Okay, so this is page 184. 184, we're talking about Mr. Roslan's question here and George. So yesterday we started off this one. We've got two methods here, primarily. One on the left that is on just completely by ratio. So I put the colon and red is to blue is to total. And the ratio method shows relationship in this manner by new numbers. So if you're not a very numbers person, you will have trouble for this. On the right side is the model drawing, which I think is helpful to most of us because you put it in picture, so you can see better. Now, the most important part of solving the question, actually, I'll say, is this part here, the annotation part. When you are able to identify what are the information that's provided in the question and what's missing from the question, then you'll be able to get steps closer to answering. So yesterday we talked about whether we have red, whether we have blue, whether we have sum, and then there's this other term that we call difference. But for this question, we realized that we didn't need difference because sum is talking about the total, altogether is talking about total, which is the sum, which is 11 units. Then the next question on the classes. This one is, I would say, even easier, but the difficulty is understanding this statement here. In this statement, there is no word that says ratio. It didn't say ratio like the ratio of how many to how many to how many. So that is not stated. So there's this part that you need to be able to understand. So if I have trouble understanding this, like annotating, I can try to draw. So it is like saying I have 7 pupils. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. So for every 7 people, 4 of them wear spectacles. Yeah, very tiny. So I draw until like they look like Ninja Turtle. Okay, so 4 of them wear glasses. So if I can understand this well, some of us can write this ratio almost immediately. Some of us drawing a model helps. But there's this important part is the end, you need to really pay attention to what exactly the question is asking for. In this case, you realize that this one is not too complicated, quite easy to get it because it still asks you about the classes. It didn't ask you something else like who are the ones who don't wear glasses. It didn't ask you like how many more people wear glasses than how many people who don't wear glasses. So there are more ways to ask this question that can make this more difficult. So when you look at the question on question 3, page 184, the one of Mr. Roslan, it says that first part, the ratio, so ratio is given. Ratio of the amount of money Roslan has to the amount of money that George has is 7:5. So I can have Roslan and George, and then I can write sum and difference as well. And like what Akhilesh said, I can write ratio here. And then I notice that the ratio is given. The difference in the amount of money they have is $46. How much money does Roslan have? So that is the whole question. I realized, okay, here the difference is the one that's being given. So I have the difference. So this kind of question I say is considered like helpful because almost all of the information that you may need is given in the question. So again, I will show you the two methods. I will show you with the ratio method and I'll show you with the model method. I like to use different highlighters. So I put Mr. Roslan as one color, such that I know that 7 is for him. And then I use a different color to signify George, and I know that is for George. And then you realize that there's this part that talks about difference. It's not part of the ratio. So that's not, I'm not highlighting that. But I may want to put another color for it. Okay? But for now, let me just try to draw this. So Mr. Rosline is 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And George is 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as possible, draw them quite equally. With this, you can see that they talk about the difference as 46. Once you can draw this model out, it's talking about the difference in the two of them, like how are they different from each other, which is these 2 units. So these 2 units here, this is the difference, and that's 2 units. So from this model, I can see already 2 units is $46. That's the difference. The question asks for Roslan, so it's asking for this 7 units. So 1 unit is 46 divided by 2, 23, and then Mr. Roslan is 7 units, so it's 23 times 7. 161? Yep, okay. And there you go, you got the answer. So that's by the model method. So if I do it purely by ratio, I write down Mr. Roslan is to George. That is 7 to 5. And then I will write another part here that refers to the difference between them. So that is difference between Mr. Roslan minus George. That's 2 units, 7 minus 5. That's 2 units. So these 2 units is $46. So I asked for Mr. Roslan as the question mark. So is this part here. So I need to figure out how did these 2 units become $46, which works the same way as I'm writing times 23. So I multiply 23 here, which will give me the same answer. So Mr. Roslan will be seven times 23. So in this case, the 2 answers here, where the marks given, the first mark will be given to the 2 units. You can identify times 23 here. And another mark will go to 7 times 23, which is here. One method mark, and 1 answer mark. So this question is worth 3 marks. Confident about it? So these are level 1 questions. Pretty okay, right? Nothing too complicated. Like quite easy. You think you can solve it within 5 minutes? Yeah, probably so. Because the thing is, all the information are given. Can I move on already? So who's for the ratio method? Okay, who's for the model method? Okay, who's like cool with both? Okay, right, then we move on. Yeah, you realize that some, yes, Pranavika, you're right. You realize that some questions, the model may work better. Sometimes the ratio may work better. Because sometimes the model you don't know how to draw, because it really depends on what information is given. Yes. So it really depends on how you understand. So, okay, I've done the annotation. It also means that I could use the other method to check. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Okay, so I don't need the sum. I have the ratio for these 2. I'm asking for Mr. Roslan. Yeah. Okay, can now, okay, moving on to a level 2 question now. So level 2 question means the number of marks also steps up. Okay? Okay, So this one here, you see, the question have more one, two, three, four sentences. Clearly, we will take more steps already. But the same methods here can be used. So I start with the race again to remind myself to read. This is the level 2 question on page 185. So for this question, it says here, the ratio of amount of money Darren has to the amount of money Ming Huat has is 2:3. Then suddenly got Salim already. Suddenly there's this sudden other person. So that's the part that's confusing. I'm going to write down D, M, and then Salim. And see if there's any other characters. Salim has twice the amount of total money that Darren and Mingwa have. Wow, this sounds so complicated. Then, okay, then after that, how much more? Wow, it's like there's so many things in this story. First I have these three people. Okay, I'll color code them. Darren being green, Mingwa blue, and then yellow for Salim. Then there's this very complicated relationship. I have a ratio. The ratio here given is between Darren is to Minghuat. So Darren is 2, oops. Minghuat is 3. So if I draw the model out, I have Darren 2 units, Minghuat 3 units. Then the complicated part is Salim comes in. Then the Salim says, Salim is twice the total amount of money that Darren and Minghuat have. So there's this total Darren and Minghuat. So the first sum, that's the first total, is total Darren plus Minghuat. So if I write ratio here, there's Darren plus Minghuat total. How many units would that be? So this is 5 units together. So if I say that Salim is twice, so to Salim, that means will be how many units? Salim has twice the total. So it's this one times 2. That means I have Darren, Minghuat, Darren, Minghuat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Altogether 10 units. But then here's the difficult part. It is giving you who? Who is given? The actual amount of money. Menghua is given. So Menghua is given, Menghua is $27. Actually, don't know how many. These are all unitary. You don't know how much money they have. Then the complicated part is the last part. The last part asks for difference. But it's how much more money Salim have compared to Darren. Is Salim versus Darren. So it's Salim versus Darren. How much more? So Salim versus Darren is actually from where? 2 units, right? Here. Darren is here, Salim is here. From here. How many units is that? 8 units. So this is the part. Salim versus Darren. There is 10 minus 2 is 8 units. Which from the model is seen clearer. Okay, then main part is given. Main part is $27. That means here. On the model, I think it's easier to see. 3 units is Minghuat, 3 units is $27. So 1 unit is 27 divided by 3, which is 9. That's right. So you're looking for Salim more than Darren. So that is, we figure out 8 units. So it's 8 units times $9. How much is that? 32. So there you go, that's the answer. For this question, I think it's easier to see by the model. I will choose the model because it's easier to see. But also can actually, because if I figure out times 9 here, this is the first mark that will be given. Then from here, sorry, times 7. This times 9. Is it times 9? Correct, right? 3 times 9 is 27. So from 8 times 9. So Salim has $72 more than Darren. Is it correct? So first of all, I need to figure out all this complex relationship between these 3 people. Darren, Menghuat, and Salim. They are in such a complicated relationship. First, you have Darren and Menghuat. Darren being 2 units, Menghuat being 3 units. Then there's this part talking about the two of them add up together. That's 5 units. Then Salim appeared. Salim is the one that has twice the total of the two of them. So 5 times 2, 10 units. Then in the end, say the question asked for is the question. The units is dollar sign, don't forget the dollars. So the last part asked for compare Salim and Darren, which I figure out is 8 units. So from the main part, $27, I find out what 1 unit is. Then I multiply by the 8 units that is needed to get $72. It depends. Which one do you prefer looking at? The model or the ratio? You don't have to write down both. Okay? You can choose which one do you think works out better for you. For me, for this question, I will actually choose the model. I think it's easier to see. Sorry? Can, okay. Yeah. But it really is your choice. What works better for you? Yeah, correct. What Skylar says is true. So it really depends what you think is visually easier for you to comprehend. And for you, your brain to be able to deal with all the numbers that you're looking at. For me, I shall choose the model. It's easier to see. Main part is 3 units. 3 units is $27. Then the question is asking for the difference between Salim and Darren. That's 8 units. I can tell easily if I draw the model correctly. So I would like this model method more. Okay? So what is your preference? That one is what you need to figure out. Okay, now the last question I will go through here on this page, then I will ask you to try out the next two on your own. Okay? Then we will move on to a slightly easier task. Now, the last one is here for Peter and Ravi. Well, yeah, I think some of you are right, quite right in this. It's easier to do when you draw a model. So let me just skip the ratio method for this. For ratio, really depends on what your preference is. Is it? Okay, so let me try both then. Since I would think that I'm quite okay with doing both. Like in terms of speed. Share a sum of money. Peter and Ravi. Peter is given, Peter is $40. The question asks for how much more. Okay, this is a comparison question, it's asking for difference. Difference is Ravi versus Peter. So the ratio is given. Oh, no wonder, because is it because the ratio is given? Yeah, okay. So the ratio is given is sometimes easier to see. So our friends chose to do, some of our friends choose to do the ratio method because Peter and Ravi is given in the question, 5:9. Then the difference part, the more versus. So this is more money. Ravi has more money. So Ravi minus Peter. So they figure out this is 4 units pretty quickly. They say that this is like this. For me, I said it really depends. You may just like to draw the model better. Okay, so this is the model method. So this is Peter and then Ravi. Ravi is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you think this is easy, that's good. Yeah, which is great, right? Can you remember level 2 questions for volume? How difficult it seems like? Yes. Yeah. So guys, honestly, I must tell you, you find this easier is a good thing. But I must also remind you that this is easier because it's a new topic. Ratio at primary 6 is not going to be this simple because there's this thing idea called changing ratio. Yes. And that makes it a little bit more difficult. But these are like introductory questions. Okay, we haven't made the level 3 questions yet. But it's now you see why I'm getting us to start on this first. Okay, it will boost your confidence. Okay. Now, so you can see the difference easily the 4 units. I will still go with the model method. Actually, it's so easy to see this. Like 5 units is Peter is 5 units. And that's $40. So yeah, so some of you are like, so far I'm so done with this like very quickly because it's not difficult, it's easy to see. And then you want the difference. That's Ravi minus Peter, and that's 4 units. Then that will be 4 times 8, which is $32. Which yes, the ratio can be very fast also. So Peter is $40, that's times 8. So from here I times 8. I get the answer 32. So Ravi has $32 more than Peter. Quite okay, right? Does it feel good so far? Okay, so if you feel good so far, you choose whether you are the ratio or the model method. Okay, for page 186 question. Sorry. Okay, you decide which one are you going to adopt. Is it the ratio or the model? Okay, you can do both. That is great, excellent. Okay, honestly, you can do both. Okay, organize your work in a neat manner. Okay, Ryan, write neatly, practicing writing smaller and neatly. Okay, so page 186, I'm going to put this as homework. You try to do it on your own. Choose either of the methods. Okay? Okay, now I'll give out an easier set. I think everybody will rejoice with this. 5 minutes to finish the first page already. Come, help. Okay, then we go all the way back to the easier ones. I think everybody will rejoice at it because this will become like so simple. Okay, so exactly which one is it that we are looking at? Oops, sorry, suddenly moving so big. Page 165, right at the front for the idea of ratio. Tami, we have that page 165. You have this, right? You get this down just now? Were you getting this the whole time? Yes? Okay, all right. So we're going on straight to the first page where it was the easier questions to begin with. And then you see how we moved on to the bit by bit questions towards the back. So the first part is the introduction of ratio right here. Right? It feels super enjoyable now, right? Yes, you may. Okay? So I'm going to use the different colors again. So here, soccer, basketball. So basketball, soccer. So I kind of color coded. So soccer, basketball. So this annotation will help you. Okay. So I write here soccer, basketball to soccer. So soccer to basketball to soccer. Okay. These are little habits that, guys, honestly, I'm going to say this one more time. Right now, I will say it's really because of the lack of habits. When you are doing easier questions, right? Don't jump to the questions. I'm back on this page. Don't go for completing the work. There's no competition here who's going to finish first. Kyla, same as for you. Look, it's about habits, good habits. I think one of the issues about your test is this. Like when you see all these easy questions, you quickly finish, quickly go through it, done. When it comes to test and exam, these basic tasks are the things that you forgot the most. And suddenly you cannot do anymore. So do these little things. It didn't take me very long to write and highlight these little things here. These are good habits that will help you to remember how to do the easy stuff. If you look at your test paper, which I'll be going through later, a lot of you are forgetting the basic stuff. Then because you're not writing down these little tips that I'm telling you now, write it down, it will make it a habit, then end up you are solving things faster. You know what I'm talking about? Really, a lot of you are like rushing through your work, get it done, easy. But then in your test, all the easy stuff you're getting all wrong. Because you didn't quite remember it long enough. It was that at that moment when you're doing you're easy, you get past it. So please, let's be patient here. Put in the good habit. These are the little things that will help you to remember things better. So I write down the notations at the bottom. Okay? Then moving on. Now, here. Papaya to watermelon. Watermelon to papaya. These little annotations will not take you so much time, but it has a lot of impact on your brain. Okay, because your brain will start to collect these little bits of information. Like, for example, I ask you now, what's the color of the hamsters I bought? Pink and yellow. Why is it easy to remember? Because it's cute. You're right. Because it's a certain shape. And if I buy a watermelon and then it's pink color, do you think you remember the watermelon also? You probably will, I think, because yeah, like Shami said, it's so absurd. It's like there's a special pink color watermelon because correct, because usually watermelons are green. So yeah, so the truth is your brain will later we can do a test, okay? I'm gonna we'll make some time for a test later. How good is your brain? All right, your brain will pick up this little special information or habit information. So when I do this annotation, it's really trying to trigger your brain to remember things. That's why sometimes your parents will try to say, do this assessment book, do this page, do. It's like the brain memory. It's just like how some of our soccer players, I see your training, the coach keep telling you to run, kick, and then do repeatedly certain actions. So these certain repeated motions help you to remember better. Okay, So it will seriously that much of a time for you to do annotations like what I'm doing now. Even as I'm talking to you, I'm also writing it down. So really, guys, these things you're writing are going to help you in the long run. Don't do it for the purpose of I want to finish it quickly. There's no race here, honestly. It's not like I'm going to give you a prize for finishing first. But I may give you a prize for doing all the annotations because you're putting the effort in it. Okay? Now, here, this one here, number 5. What do you think are these rectangular blocks for? Yep, I heard this word. Is that Christabel? Is that grouping? That's right. So the grouping here tells you that I do not, it's like the unitary method. I do not need to count all the cookies one by one. I can count the groups. So the chocolate to butter is 2 units is to 5 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Now exactly from chocolate to butter, exactly there actually 6 is to 15. But I could group them by groups of 3. So I can just write 2 is to 5. So from butter to total, that's 5 is to 7. So okay? Does this feel like level 1 at all? I think it feels like level 0.5. It's kindergarten to you now. Okay, but I must say not everybody might feel so, okay? It might be difficult for some of us because this is a new concept. And some of us might be weak in not so good in fractions. If you have strong in fractions, this is gonna be a breeze for you. Okay, so far so good. Everybody comfortable? So until page 168, that's homework. Okay? You have until page 168, right? If I'm not wrong. Yeah. This whole thing is homework. Is that okay? I'll collect it on Monday. Okay, due Monday. Due Monday. So no rush to complete it today. Is that okay? If that's okay, you pack up your bag. I'm giving out the test paper now. We're going to go through the test. Okay? Okay. Aidan and Kershin, you are our class, our group monitors. So you know what the homework to remind our friends to do. Okay? This set here, as well as just now the four problems. Okay? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you can pack out the things now and we'll talk about the test paper, which I will not be returning here.